Okay, so in this project, what we're going to quickly go over is just how to set up our Playblasts so that they're not as gigantic as what I've been seeing. Now, this is a very common thing that happens when we output to AVI. They can be something from maybe 20 megabytes to 500 megabytes, or I've even seen some students with 2 gigabyte files that they're trying to put into Blackboard and just will not work. There's a very easy way we can work through compression using After Effects on how to fix that. And so right now what we're looking at is the same demo project that we were looking at earlier with the Arnold render and the turntable. Now, if I go into my play button by right-clicking on it and then going into the Playblast checkbox, I can change my output. So under Save File, check that box and make sure that we have a location for that. Right now it's going to go to my where my projects are set up. It's going to the movies. It's where I want. I'm going to call that Playblasts. I'm going to hit save. And if I hit apply, it's going to render this for me. Make sure you're saving this stuff out. You don't want to be that person that is confused and not able to find your stuff because you just hit Playblast and you have no idea where it went. You'll have to find that little lady who found Carol Ann in the wall and had to use a tennis ball and get her out of there. And that's a reference to Poltergeist. If you haven't seen it, you should see that. Okay, that's good. I've got a video rendered out of my Playblast. Now it looks kind of like crap compared to my Arnold render, and that's okay actually, because what we're using this for is critique. If there were an animation going on here, our lead animator or art director could look at this and say, okay, change this, change that. If you took maybe, I don't know, a day to render something out and you need to have revisions, your art direction is to say, why did you waste a day to render instead of taking the proper time to make the revisions? You're fired. So it's a good idea to set up a Playblast and have your art director look at it, because as you saw, it just takes a couple seconds to do versus a beauty render that we just did with Arnold. So we have a 13.8 megabyte Arnold file and a 533 megabyte Playblast. What the heck? The turntable took a lot more time to render individual frames out, but it looked better. And when we put it through After Effects, it compressed down to 13.8. This looks like garbage, the Playblast, and it's 533 megabytes. That's because it's an AVI and it's uncompressed. So how do we fix that? In After Effects, right click, import file, Playblast. Import that. Drag that into our timeline, and if I hit the space bar, there it goes. Spin it around. Now it's important to do this with a new project. If you don't do this with a new project, it'll take whatever influence of the time that was on the last video you had in there and apply that seconds. So usually it'll go maybe up to 8 seconds or something like that, which this is a 15-second animation. So we need to make sure we have 15 seconds. The easiest way to do that is close whatever project that you had, and then you'll have a blank work area, and then just right click and import that file in here. This is good. I'm going to go to my composition again and add this to the Adobe Media Encoder queue, and there's a Playblast. So I can right click and remove the thing from earlier because I don't need that. This is what I needed. I'm going to go into my settings again. I'm going to press that button. H.264 is good. I'm going to go into the YouTube 720p and turn off my audio. Maximum render quality is fine by me. And I'm going to hit OK. Make sure I give it a home. And we go to Movies, Playblast, OK. Hit Save, and press the play button. And here it goes. And done. So I'll find that. And now I have a 28.4 megabyte file. Much better than this 533 megabyte file. So that I would rather see than having to download 533 megabytes every single time that I do a critique of a Playblast. So we can delete that other one. It's saying it can't do that because After Effects has it. That's fine. We can close After Effects in the encoder and then delete that other one and save ourselves some hard drive space, because holy cow. And now we have a 28.4 megabyte file, which is still bigger than the final render, but that's okay. So that is how we drop down our size quite considerably.